It's that hour again. You know it without looking at the clock. The world is asleep, draped in a silence so profound it feels heavy. But you are awake. Your heart is a drum beating a rhythm of anxiety against your ribs, your mind. A chaotic storm of past regrets and future fears. The weight of your life, your struggles, your debts, your health, your family. It all comes crashing down in the stillness of the night. And in that moment of overwhelming solitude and pressure, you do what you have been taught to do. You turn your face to the ceiling, you close your eyes, and you begin to plead. God, please help me. Please just make this pain stop. Please show me a sign. Give me a way out. I can't do this anymore. You supplicate, you beg, you petition. You lay out your suffering like a beggar displaying his sores, hoping for a coin of mercy from a distant, powerful king. It feels right. It feels humble. It is the language of the powerless speaking to the all-powerful. It is the language you have been handed down for generations. But have you ever stopped, in the deafening silence of that hour, to ask yourself a truly terrifying question? Is it working? Has this pleading, this begging, this nightly ritual of surrender, has it fundamentally changed your reality? Or has it just made you more skilled at enduring your own powerlessness? Today, you will awaken to a truth so fundamental, it will rattle the very bars of the cage you didn't even know you were in. The truth is this: the mindset of the supplicant, the beggar, the pleader, is a prison. It is a carefully constructed lie, a software of subservience installed in your soul, designed to keep you from ever realizing the true nature of your own power. You have been taught that to be spiritual is to be small, to be humble is to be helpless, to have faith is to wait for an external rescue. You were taught to see yourself as a flawed, broken creature, forever on the outside, begging to be let in. But tell me, does a prince plead with his father, the king, for a meal in the castle? Does a daughter of a titan beg to wield a fraction of her parents' power? No. They commit act. They create. They move with the innate understanding that the power, the kingdom, the inheritance is already theirs. They belong. The language of pleading is the most expensive language in the universe. It costs you your power. Every time you beg for help, you are sending a powerful declaration to the cosmos. I am help you. I am a victim. I do not have the resources to solve this myself, and the universe, in its infinite and impersonal wisdom, echoes back to you exactly what you have declared. It gives you more circumstances in which to feel helpless. It confirms your victimhood. Pleading reinforces the very state you wish to escape. It is an affirmation of lack, an admission of powerlessness. You are waiting for a savior, when you were created to be a sovereign. That moment, that sacred, silent, 3 a.m. interruption, is not a curse. It is not a punishment. It is an alarm clock. It is a divine intervention designed to stop the noise of the world long enough for you to finally hear the subtle, rattling sound of your own chains. The chains are not made of iron or steel. They are forged from a single, corrosive, devastating lie. The lie that you are separate from the power you seek. The lie that you must plead for what is, in fact, your divine birthright. So, what is this hour truly for? It is not a test of your capacity for suffering. It is an invitation to rebellion. A rebellion not against God, but against the false idea of God and the false idea of yourself that has kept you in bondage. It is a call to stop looking up for a hand to pull you out of the pit, and to start looking within for the power to build a ladder. The first, most crucial step to escaping any prison is the realization that you are in one. The awareness that the bars are not part of the landscape, but are a limitation that can be overcome. Tonight, we have identified those bars. We have given them a name, the Prison of Pleading, and we have exposed the lie that forged them. But knowing you are in a prison is one thing. Knowing how to shatter the walls and walk out into the dawn of a new reality, that is something else entirely. And that is where our journey truly begins. The prison of pleading now stands exposed. Its bars, forged by a lie. Its guards, fueled by your own fear. A question now hangs in the silent air of your room. a question more powerful than any prayer you have ever uttered. If I am not a beggar, then who am I? To answer this, we must go back to the very beginning, not the beginning of your struggles, but the beginning of everything. The first principle, the source code of all creation. Genesis chapter 1. It says, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness." Stop. Read that again, not as a line in an old book, but as the foundational truth of your existence. In our image, in our likeness. What does this truly mean? Do you think the infinite creator, the formless intelligence that architected galaxies, is concerned with a physical image, with 2 arms and 2 legs? No. To be made in God's image is to be made with God's function, with His essence, with His capability. And what is the primary, defining function of God in the story of creation? He creates. Yodani bought. He does not hope. He does not wish. He creates. And how does He create? Through what instrument? He speaks. The word. The decree. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. The universe was spoken into existence. Creation is the result of a divine decree. If you are made in His likeness, then you are, by definition, a creator. And the seed of that same creative power, the power of the Word, was planted in you from the moment you were conceived. This is your true identity. You are not a fallen creature hoping for a handout. You are a creator, temporarily suffering from amnesia. You have forgotten who you are. For centuries, you have been taught to look at the scriptures and at life as a mirror. But you were taught to see only your flaws in its reflection. You were told to focus on your sin, your weakness, your separation. You have been staring so intently at the dust on the mirror that you have failed to see the face of the King looking back at you. There are those who will tell you this is arrogance. They will say it is blasphemy to claim such power. But I ask you, what is more arrogant? To humbly accept the immense power and responsibility that your Creator bestowed upon you, or to look back at the face of God and say, "No, your creation is weak, your design is flawed, I am small, and I am helpless." True humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less, and thinking more about the divine purpose and power flowing through you. True arrogance is to call God a liar by refusing to acknowledge the divine nature He placed within you. You are an inheritor of a kingdom, not a kingdom of clouds and harps that you might one day visit, but a kingdom of principles and power that exists right here, right now. The laws of the universe, the law of cause and effect, the law of vibration, the law of attraction. These are not punishments or rewards. They are the physics of the kingdom. And you, as a child of the King, were born with the innate ability to operate them. Your identity is not sinner. That is a description of a past action, not a definition of your core being. Your identity is not sufferer. That is a description of a temporary experience. Your identity, your permanent, unchangeable, divine essence, is create. You are a co-creator with God. He designed the ocean, but you direct the ship. He created the marble, but you are the sculptor. He authored the laws of energy, but you are the one who decides which frequency to broadcast. Every thought you think is a blueprint. Every word you speak is an instruction. Every feeling you harbor is a magnet, drawing to you the very substance of your focus. This is the awesome and terrifying responsibility of your true identity. You cannot escape it. You can only ignore it. And in doing so, you create by default. You create chaos. You create lack. You create suffering, all because you have forgotten that the artist's tools are in your hands. So, let this sink into the deepest parts of your soul. Let it saturate the marrow of your bones. When you wake in the dead of night, and the old fears begin to whisper their lies, you will now have the weapon to silence them. The whisper says, "You are alone." You will answer, "I am one with my Creator." The whisper says, "You are weak." You will answer, "I am made in the image of all power." The whisper says, "You must beg for a miracle." You will answer, "I was born to create them." You are not a mistake. You are a masterpiece, holding the paintbrush of the master. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the author of your experience. The question is no longer, who am I? We have answered that. You are a creator. The real question, the one that changes everything, the one we will answer next, is this: how do I create? You now stand with the knowledge that you are not a beggar but a creator. The question left hanging in the cosmos was, how? How does a creator create? The answer is simpler and more profound than you can imagine. You don't need a magic wand or a secret incantation. You only need to understand the three fundamental mechanics of reality, the divine science behind the decree. First, you must understand the nature of the universe you inhabit. It is not a fixed, solid, dead thing. It is a living, breathing, vibrant field of infinite energy and potential. Quantum physics has shown us that at the subatomic level, everything is energy, vibrating at different frequencies. Nothing is truly solid. It is all information, all potential. And you, the creator, are the one who collapses that potential into a specific, tangible experience. This understanding leads us to the first mechanic of command, the blueprint of the mind. Every creation, from the chair you are sitting on to the greatest empires in history, began as one thing: a thought, an idea, a clear image held in the mind. Your mind is the architectural firm of your reality. What you consistently hold in your thoughts becomes the blueprint for what your life must build. If your mental blueprint is filled with images of fear, lack, and disaster, the universe has no choice but to construct that reality for you. But if your blueprint is one of health, abundance, and joy, the raw materials of the cosmos must conform to that plan. A blueprint, however, is just a plan. It has no power on its own. It needs to be energized. This brings us to the second mechanic, the fuel of emotion. Emotion is the energy that gives life to your mental blueprints. It is the fuel that powers the engine of creation. You can think about wealth all day, but if you feel poor, if you harbor the emotions of lack and desperation, your creation will stall. The feeling is the prayer. The feeling is the magnetic force. To a decree spoken with a dead heart is a car with no gasoline. But a decree fueled by the white-hot intensity of conviction, of passion, of absolute certainty, that is a force that bends reality. The most powerful creative emotion you can generate is gratitude. To feel thankful for what you have commanded before it has physically appeared is the ultimate statement of faith. It is the signature of a master creator. So you have the blueprint of thought and the fuel of emotion. You need one final step to send your creation into the world. This is the third mechanic, the action of the word. The spoken decree is the action that releases the energized blueprint into the quantum field. It is the moment the architect signs off on the plans and tells the construction crew, begin. It is the command that collapses potential into reality. Speaking your decree gives it a specific vibratory signature. It is you, the creator, declaring your intention with authority. It is the final irreversible step that says, so be it. Blueprint, fuel, action, thought, emotion, word. This is the divine trinity of creation. For those who think this sounds like fantasy, let me ground this ancient wisdom in a startling modern discovery. A Japanese researcher named Dr. Masaru Emoto conducted a series of groundbreaking experiments to see if human words and intentions could physically alter the structure of reality. He chose the most fundamental element of life, water. Here's a simple way to understand his work. Dr. Emoto would take samples of water from the same source. He would expose one sample to positive loving words and thoughts, like thank you, I love you, and peace. He would expose another sample to negative hateful words, like you fool, I will kill you, and evil. He would then flash freeze the water and photograph the ice crystals that formed. The results are breathtaking and undeniable. The water exposed to words of love and gratitude formed beautiful, complex, perfectly symmetrical crystals like a divine snowflake. They were structured, brilliant, and full of life. The water exposed to words of hate and fear formed chaotic, distorted, ugly blobs. There was no structure, no beauty, no light. It looked like diseased tissue. Data break. Data proved on camera that your words, your intentions, your very frequency have the power to physically restructure matter. Now consider this and let it shake you to your core. If your words can do that to a glass of water on a table, What do you think your nightly pleas of desperation and fear are doing to the 70% of water that makes up your own body? What do you think your words of command, of love, of gratitude, and of power will do? You are not just speaking into the air. You are speaking into the very cells of your being. You are speaking into the field of energy from which your future is born. This is not a trick. This is a law, as real as gravity. You now have the instruction manual. You have the blueprint, the fuel, and the action. You understand the science, both divine and physical. See it clarity, create the sharp, detailed blueprint in your mind. Feel it conviction, fuel it with the powerful emotion of it already being true. Seep it command, release it with the authority of a king signing a decree. You have been given the keys to the kingdom. You are no longer a stranger to its laws. In our final chapter, we will walk with you into your throne room, the sacred silence of the dawn, and we will guide you as you issue your first royal decree. You have journeyed far in these few moments. You walked into this space as a pleader, lost in the dark. You stand here now as a creator, holding the keys to the kingdom. You know who you are. You know how your power works. All that is left is to take your throne. Your bedroom, in the sacred silence of the dawn, is no longer a prison cell of anxiety. Look at it differently. It is your throne room. It is your command center. It is the holiest of holies where you commune with the divine power that resides within you. The darkness is not an enemy, it is the canvas upon which you will paint your day. The silence is not emptiness, it is the raw potential waiting for your command. So, when you awaken, do not surrender to the old habits. Do not reach for the phone to be fed the world's anxiety. Do not allow the storm of worry to claim your mind. This is your time. Your first act as a sovereign is to command your own state of being. Here is your practice. Your first ritual in the throne room. First, simply be still. Breathe. Feel the cold air on your skin. Hear the quiet hum of the universe. You are the king, the queen, observing your domain. You are not the frantic thoughts. You are the silent awareness watching them. You are not the storm. You are the sky. Second, perform your anointing. Place a hand over your heart. Feel its steady, powerful beat. This is the rhythm of your kingdom. This is the engine of your power. Acknowledge it. Honor it. Honor it. And say silently, with deep reverence for yourself, I am here. I am sovereign. I am ready hat. And third, issue your first royal decree. Do not try to move mountains on your first day. A true ruler secures his own palace before conquering new lands. So your first decree should be about commanding your own state. You are taking the raw, chaotic energy of the morning and giving it a purpose, a direction. You can use these as your templates, but feel the words that are true for you. As you speak them not with hope, but with the calm, unshakable authority of a ruler whose word is law. By the divine authority vested in me, I decree absolute peace and serenity to reign over my mind, my body, and my spirit. I command the energy of this day to align perfectly with my highest good. All things will work in my favor. I decree that every cell in my body is now regenerating in perfect health, vitality, and divine intelligence. I am a magnet for creative solutions, joyful encounters, and abundant opportunities. I decree that they flow to me effortlessly today. Speak them into the stillness. Feel the vibration of your own voice shifting the energy in the room. Preek. Feel the conviction behind them calming your own heart. This is not a one-time act. This is your new life. This is the most important habit you will ever form. The ancient sages and modern masters know this secret. Win the dawn and you win the day. Architect your peace in the first 5 minutes, and the rest of the day will be the palace built upon that foundation. You are no longer the person who went to sleep last night. That person was a subject, a victim of circumstance. You who are awake now are a sovereign. The sun is not just rising on a new day, it is rising on a new you. And because you have changed, the entire world you experience must change with you. You have the knowledge, you have the identity, you have the power. You are seated on your throne. And so, our journey together in this space comes to an end. But yours, your reign, is just beginning. The person who feared the silence is gone forever. The throne is yours. The dawn is here. And for the very first time, the sun is not just rising on a new day. It is rising on a new ruler.